Hello and welcome to another edition of Trek Talk. And I am your host. My name is Alaka Mayowa. With me, I have a beautiful business mogul in person of Mrs. Bisi Akintayo. Mrs. Bisi Akintayo is known as the e-commerce and money coach, also as Amazon of e-commerce, due to her great impact and ability to mentor other people to succeed in that niche. She is the managing director of Ginido LLC, a company with 5 different subcategories. She is also the CEO of Bisi Akintayo Consult, a consulting and training firm of SMES. She is also the co-founder of SA Foundation, a charity organization. An intelligent lady who her staff calls brain and beauty. Mrs. Bisi Akintayo, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Trek Africa. Imagine more.
Apart from what I mentioned earlier, I want you to tell me more about Bisi Akintayo and what you do.
Okay, Bisi Akintayo is the third child from a family of 7. I'm a Christian and I got married a couple of years ago, about 9 years ago, and I started my journey of importation business. That was how I started. I started from my bedroom at a point in my life where I was tired of depending on every penny from my husband. He's an amazing man, but I've always had this drive in me on not to actually depend on every money I want to actually use for my personal use and for the home use from my husband. It's not that it's actually a competition, but for me, it's more of being an helpmate. I'm a Christian, so my Bible makes me understand that I'm meant to be an helpmate, not a burden to my husband. I remember there was a day I needed to buy toiletries, and I was waiting for my husband to get back from work to buy toiletries. That day, I told myself, babe, when will you continue this? Like, you have to wait for just toiletries. You cannot afford to buy it. For me, that was actually how I started. The hunger and determination not to always depend on my husband for money. And also because I also had visions, goals. I wanted to do charity and help a whole lot of people. But I know to be able to fuel my vision, I need money.
How did you get your brand name? Like, what is the concept of your business?
Okay, our business actually is into basically digital marketing and e-commerce. And how we got the name was also tribute to my husband. He came with the name Ginido from God, and that was how he coined it. It's actually from an acronym. He used God as well, the God factor, and just coined some words together, and it sounded good. And they're like, okay, I like the name is beautiful. Okay, let's go with it. And that was how Ginido came to be. But before then, it has always been Bisi Akintayo. It's still Bisi. We still have Bisi Akintayo Consult still running, which is actually in charge of coaching people who actually want to start importation business, e-commerce, and want to be profitable, because a lot of people are into e-commerce, but not everybody are profitable in the business. So what we are set out to do is to make sure that people become profitable in the e-commerce sector, profitability in the e-commerce sector. So we have the Ginido Logistics, we have the Ginido Fashion, we have Ginido Prints. We're into printing as well. We're into branding and print. Then we're into consultation. We are also into running trainings, which is the Ginido Digital Marketing School. We run trainings for people who want to learn more about the digital world. And the funny thing about this digital world is I was a novice when it comes to digital marketing. I didn't know anything. The only thing I could do was basically to put on my laptop. My brother got me a laptop when I was in my final year in Olabisi Onabanjo University. And I told him I needed that laptop to actually do my project. It was 180,000. All I could do was to put it on, charge it, and watch movie. I didn't know where to go on Word. I did not know where to go on Google. I don't know how to find Google on the laptop. I did not know anything. And that's for me to actually also let as many people are out there especially women who feel that, oh, we are not cut out for digital marketing. And a lot of women have proven that wrong. Everybody actually is cut out for this if you can put your heart into it. I put my heart into it. I was able to learn it. I enjoy it. And I understand the fact that if you must be profitable in this current industry, in this current world, you have to be digitally inclined. You have to have digital education. If you don't have digital education, guess what? You just discover that your business will not fly as far as it should fly.
As a profile reads, you are the Amazon of importation business. What does that connote?
Okay, Amazon of Mini Importation. I said earlier that I started from my bedroom, basically because I was tired of always relying on my husband for every little penny. So I was in my bedroom still working. I've started importation business as at then. And I remember that I was watching my husband and his mentor, who is also my mentor, Dr. Kwebao. And I was watching them and they were doing a webinar actually. That was years ago, I think 2016, 17, thereabout. They were doing a webinar, I think 2016. And I saw the vigor, the energy, they were training people. And I love to train, I love to teach, but as a then I wasn't teaching. I loved it and I shared the idea with them. I remember I was on a call with my husband, calling him, say, wow, awesome presentation today. I love what you do. I would also love to train. I would love to teach, do what you guys are doing. And I remember Dr. Kwe was giving me so many beautiful ideas. Yes, you can do this, you can do that. And he was like, oh, you can even call yourself the Amazon of Mini Importation. I was like, Amazon of Mini Importation. So the name came from my mentor, Dr. Kwebao, Amazon of Mini Importation. While he was with my husband was with him in Nebraska, USA then, and that was how the name stuck to me, and I loved it. And for me, the name actually was able to heal a lot of women, a lot of men. I've had students who have done 6 figures both home and abroad in the importation sector. A lot of women who actually, I remember the story of a woman who told me that what she was doing was ice cream. She was selling ice cream, and when children are on holiday, she doesn't sell anymore. And when it's raining season, she can't sell anymore. And because she was able to register for my training, that training was what changed her finances. Even her husband started borrowing money from her, somebody who could not even contribute from her ice cream business to her family business, to support her family. I have another case of another woman who actually used to be a fish seller, a chicken seller, moved to Lagos. Things were not really looking good for her in the business she was doing. And she remembered that she had to even borrow money from her husband to be a part of my training and coaching. And that actually changed. Somebody who actually used to be a fish and pepper seller now began to make 6 figures in e-commerce sector, has done over $65,000 US in the e-commerce sector. And I've had students abroad. I have global students. I've trained almost about 10,000 students globally. And I have students who are abroad as well, who have done over $7,000 US also in the business. Some have done far more than $7,000. Some have done over 120 millionaire in transaction. Among those who I have coached, some 150 millionaire in transaction. So for me, it really became a healing center for so many homes, for so many people, because it's not a business that is gender-based.
Another interesting thing in your profile that I find really amazing was that you started your journey on importation business with merely 20,000 naira, and today that investment has transmitted you to being a multi-millionaire, which also made you to venture into other businesses like branding, creating, digital marketing school. So I want to know, how were you able to do all of this?
Okay, it's a journey actually. It's a journey of about 6 years now, going to 7 years. So I started with 20,000 naira, that's $56 as of then, from my bedroom. And I remember that money, I actually borrowed it as well. I remember sharing the business ideas with my mom. I'm like, oh, I have this business I want to do. I didn't want to collect money from my husband actually. I just wanted to do something and let him know that, oh, you were able to do this, make some money out of it. And I remember when I started making profit, I was really excited. Yes, I had some issues along the way, I wasn't as profitable as I am right now. But for me, it was a consistency. My hunger, I had a reason, I had a why. So my why was so strong as at that period of time in my life. I had a strong why for me to actually make money, not just any kind of money, make good money from the business. So my why was really strong, and because I had spelled out my why, even when I failed, when I started the business, I still pick myself up and keep looking at what am I not doing right, and how can I do it better. Then another thing that actually really helped me and set that pace for me was getting my mentors involved. I had mentors, then I got more mentors, of course. I got more mentors.
Know your mentors.
Yeah, I have a couple of them, but I'm going to talk about, I mentioned them earlier. My husband is my number one mentor. I always run to him for business ideas sometimes, and always getting business tips as well. Then I have Dr. Pemba, who is also another mentor of mine. I have several mentors in several fields, in several departments, not just in e-commerce. Okay, so I actually would go to them, and some of them I would read their books. There were some of these mentors I couldn't connect to them physically. Some actually assessed them through their trainings, some assessed them through their books. So I was able to get in touch with some of them, and they were able to actually really tell me some of the things I needed to do. It wasn't about the amount of time I spent with them, but it was the quantitative time, the quantity, which I was able to spend with them, was able to give me some ideas, some things I need to do in my business to help me change what we were doing and how to do it better, and to position us better as well. So I was able to begin to grow the business. We grow from training, from being an importer to being a trainer. Then we started doing logistics. Then we moved to fashion. Then we moved to branding and print. No, trainings before branding and print, of course. Then branding and print, and we started going gradually. So it wasn't that we went into everything all at once. We had to make some of them well grounded before we moved into another. But for me, it was the consistency, it was the journey, it was knowing my why and making sure that my determination to succeed was stronger than the failure.
English language, which you studied at Bisi Akintayo University, then you went into e-commerce and everything morning. What changed?
Okay, why did I actually venture from English to being an e-commerce guru today? I did not study English because I wanted to study English. I have always wanted to study something in line of business, actually, from when I was in secondary school. I remember my dad once asked me, what do you want to become in life? I said I wanted to become a marketer, like a businesswoman, selling things. I was like, you must be kidding me. When children want to become lawyers and doctors, engineers, accountants, my own daughter wants to become a marketer, a businesswoman. So business has always been what I wanted to do. I started my first business when I was in primary school. I started selling my lunch for money. Yes. So if I didn't like the lunch I was giving at home, that was where I started from, primary school. I was selling my food because I didn't like the food. So I'll use that money to either buy the things I actually need at a very tender age, or also maybe buy food from our food vendor and use the rest to buy some other things I needed. I was selling chin-chin when I was in GSS1 and I loved it. So that was how I started. When I entered the university, I was in a couple of organizations, and this group, some of them you have to do contributions. Infinity Foundation, you have to help orphans, you have to also donate as an ESCO. So I started looking at businesses I could do. I'll go to Yaba, I'll go to trade fair, I'll buy jewelry in trade fair, go to Yaba, buy female clothing, buy male clothing. I would help people who actually was not selling as well. When I see anybody's product that is not selling, I carry it on my head. In short, that actually drew my husband closer to me. He was selling these DVD players, the video players. It was, I'll say it in his house, I'm like, this is not selling, just carry it go from door to door. Please, hello, my name is Bisi. I am selling it. Some people slam their doors on my faces. So I've been getting rejection right from when I was in school. That's why even when I became an entrepreneur, rejections were not new to me. I've gotten a lot of that. So I was building myself up as a then. So I was studying English, but I was going from door to door. I would go to school. I'll tell people I'm selling jewelry. I wasn't ashamed of what I was doing because what I was doing was legal. So I had started from there right from when I was in school. I had been doing business. So it was easy for me to easily deviate from somebody who studied English to begin to do business because I've been doing that a long time ago. And that's why we say these things are consistency. Imagine when I started from my primary school selling my food. I continued in my secondary school selling chin-chin. I continued also selling other stuff for my siblings. Then later, I graduated selling recharge card in school, pure water, all manner. I sold a whole lot of things. Even people's businesses, I would enter people's businesses and carry it on my head. As long as they don't stop me, I'll put it on my head and begin to tell them, no, we can do this, we can do that.
There are so many people in line of the business that you do who have stood quite well and are trailing the blade. So tell us what made you stand out, what made you different, what made Amazon importation business different and unique? Okay,
what makes me stand out is number one, like I said earlier, profitability and the results I have acquired over the years. Not everybody out there who is actually teaching importation business actually have students who have the kind of results that my students have today. So the results my student has acquired over the years makes me stand out, makes people know that I know my onions well in the business. And actually, I always do my due diligence in the business. I'm up to date. I keep learning. I keep learning. I learn from international bodies a lot as regards the business. But for me, it's about my results. And I always tell people, follow people who already have results. When you know the destination to the place you want to get to, the journey is shorter. Have I made mistakes in this business? Yes, I have made mistakes. Have I lost money in the business to the tens of millions? Yes, I have lost money. And I actually am in the business to train people how not to lose money, but how to make money. So that actually makes me really, really stand out in the business.
What is your core value?
Part of our core values is number one is integrity. Number two is customer satisfaction. Prompt delivery is also our prompt value, our core value rather. So that is part of our core value as a company. And one of our mission statement is to be number one e-commerce merchant store in Africa. Okay. Because what we do is a merchant. We connect to the wholesalers and some to the retailers, and also empower people to do e-commerce digitally and be profitable in the e-commerce sector.
We would like to know what the challenges you face, your failures, and also the lesson learned so far in the business.
Okay, my first challenge, which was my major challenge when I started, was not asking questions, going to my mentors, because I had lost money before I started asking questions. And not just asking my mentors questions, I also did not get mentor in the importation, in the e-commerce sector, which I was. You know, I told you I have several mentors. So I didn't take advantage of getting a mentor in that field. And that's why I always admonish people. Even if it is bean cake you want to start, a bean cake business, please get somebody who is already into that business to mentor you. If you have to pay them a token, please do pay them. Because it will avoid you a lot of headache. Don't just say a man at a business doing a business and think he's making money. There are more to business. So the second challenge I had, which was selling actually, and that's why I'm also here to solve the issue. It was selling. I wasn't selling as much as I should sell. But when I was able to get somebody to mentor me in the business, I was able to know how to sell better, different things I can do with my social media handle to sell, to make money for myself, make money for my business.
So far in your journey, what is the major accomplishment that's made you intentional about keeping up with your goals?
Okay, major accomplishment for me is my students actually. I do a lot of coaching program. So major achievement for me is my students. Once they are successful, I'm a success. I say this to them all the time. Once you're a success, I'm a success. Once you're a failure, it means I've failed to make you to become a success. So my greatest accomplishment is my success story, which are my students.
I understand you have a charity organization. So how do you give back to the society?
Okay, through our charity programs, of course, we reach out to, during COVID-19, we actually reached out to people in Ajengule. We give them food items. It was a beautiful one, and it actually was over 200 bags of food items to the people in the community. And for the charity works, I've been doing this right from when I was in school, and the name of the organization is SA Foundation, which is actually named after my husband. And for us, we currently have a project which is a project to feed 1,000 families in Nigeria, due to the fact that we see a lot of hardship ongoing, and how we can contribute our own quota to reduce that. So we contribute to the society by doing a lot of charitable works.
What do you think is the idea of entrepreneurship that youths have today, and what makes a good entrepreneur?
Okay, one of the things that make a good entrepreneur is not about the books he has read while he was in school. What makes a good entrepreneur, part of it is doing what he's supposed to do at the right time without anybody telling him to do it, and building enough capacity to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is not about the chair you sit on. It's about the capacity you built over the years through books, through mentors, through trainings you have also attended, to be able to know how you can go about making decisions for your organization, even when it looks as if the decision doesn't make sense to your organization, but you know that this actually is going to give the results you so desired in your company. So being a good entrepreneur for me, it's about the capacity you have intellectually. Yes, being able to solve problems for your company, being able to draft out strategies in which those problems will be resolved, and your company will make results in terms of sales.
If you had just one piece of advice for someone starting out, what would it be?
One piece of advice: get a mentor. Do not be in a hurry. We have a Indomie generation. We have an Indomie generation. Why do I say Indomie generation? Indomie is ready within 2 minutes. People don't want to be we have the generation that just want everything to happen now. I want to do a business, let me make money now. Let me eat the 6 figures now. No, get a mentor. You leverage on their ladder to become successful. Apart from leveraging on their ladder to become successful, it took them years of knowledge to get to where they are, and they've not still gotten there. Ask Dangote, he has a mentor. Ask Bill Gates, they all have mentors around them. Ask them how long they've been in the business. Years. Not footballer emerges as a star the day he started playing football. No footballer, no star actually has emerged a star. No singer emerged is a star the very first day she began to sing, or he began to sing. No tennis player becomes a star the day they start playing, or 1 month after they start playing. Every one of them actually takes time. So no star emerges overnight. Every star emerges overnight. If the youth out there can understand this and knows that things take time, it might take time, but when you arrive, people will know you, that you have arrived, and they will begin to relate and recognize with you.
So that's it on Trek Talk with the beautiful businesswoman, Mrs. Bisi Akintayo. Until I come your way again, I remain Alaka Mayowa. Keep prepping and imagine more.
Trip Africa. Imagine more.